Let's continue the college football education, if you will, with Stanford Steve. No one grinds harder week in and week out to produce content about this sport than Stanford Steve and the Bear. Their podcast drops on Thursday. 3 games, and let's start Friday night in Los Angeles, where Washington, unbeaten, they looked the part. UCLA, Chip's guys, maybe folks don't know this, they're 4-0 as well. What do you want us to know about this game?
I think the winner of this game has a path to the Pac-12 championship game, Scott. No more North and South, 2 best records, you mentioned it, they're both undefeated. And when you look at Washington, you cannot start the conversation without quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Number 1 in the country in passing yards per game. 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. The guy's incredible to start the season. New change of scenery. Obviously, first-year head coach Kalen DeBoer has been sensational there. But when you look at this matchup, Washington won in 2018, their last trip there. They lost the previous 9 there. Going back to 99 when UCLA beat Washington, helped Stanford make the Rose Bowl that year. I'll always be indebted to UCLA for this game. But Washington's road, this is a huge hurdle. They don't play Utah or USC. That's huge. So they get this one, they're looking pretty good to make that title game.
That game's looking like it might be in winners, just early lean, just so we know. All right, we had the Kentucky Ole Miss mentioned just a moment ago. Let's dive a little bit deeper here. That's a nooner, a couple of top 15 teams. I think each team's seeing something that they haven't seen before as they meet up.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they feel about this one. 11 a.m. local in the Grove.
They'll be fine.
But this one's huge. This is Ole Miss's first big test.
Yep.
Okay? They played 3 easy games to start. Tulsa gave them a little test last week. But when you look at Ole Miss, 3rd in the country in rush yards per game. 280 yards on the ground Ole Miss is going for.
Wow.
And when you look at Kentucky, battle-tested, went to the Swamp. I know Florida lost last week, but that's still a tough place to play. So I think this is a stern test for Ole Miss with a Kentucky team coming in. You know they're going to be tough. They're going to be rugged. They haven't been great on the offensive line, but I still think this is a big test for Ole Miss to get over because this schedule is gettable. There's a bunch of ranked teams on the back end of this schedule, but this game is huge for them because they finally get to see what they really have against a stern opponent.
No doubt about Kentucky. They did go on the road and win against Florida. I just feel like what Mississippi does, Stanford Steve showed me a bunch of stuff they do in the run game. It's just different than really anybody else is attempting. So that Kentucky defense is going to get a look at some interesting things Saturday. Michigan hits the road, and they take on Iowa. How about Iowa? Number 1 in the nation in scoring defense, worst in the nation in scoring offense, the top and the bottom. So what's there to be afraid of here if you're Michigan? You're number 4 in the country.
Kinnick Stadium has been a house of horrors, and it's where top 5 teams go to die. I want to make sure I get these numbers right.
Okay.
Top 5 teams are 1-5 since 2008. Okay? 4 of those 6 games, Iowa was unranked.
That's incredible.
Okay? Jim Harbaugh never won there. 0-2 as a player. Here you go. Wow, look at this footage. Harbaugh versus Chuck Long, loss. They lost a brutal game in 2016 by a field goal, 14-13. Now, Michigan, Blake Corum has been sensational, leading the country in touchdowns, but this is going to be, no offense to Maryland, the Iowa defense is real. On the road, J.J. McCarthy's first road start in conference. This is where Michigan's going to really find out. Everybody talked about how easy their schedule was to start the year. We saw it, a bunch of cupcakes there. Now we get to see it because of that Iowa defense and all that comes with Kinnick Stadium.
That could be in winners, too. I mean,
look at that.
What?
Iowa's offense has outscored their defense 30-16 this year. Not even doubled it.
You're going to need to get on the board there, Iowa. Oh, if we're going to have you in winners, maybe score a little bit. But that's for Thursday. That's Stanford Steve and the Bear Pod as well Thursday for some more college football chatter with 2 guys that know it better than anybody else. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.